There is a particular kind of silence that surrounds certain people. It's not the silence of having nothing to say. It's the silence of everything they carry alone. You see them everywhere. The colleague who stays late, wrestling with a problem they could easily delegate. The light from their monitor, the only witness to their exhaustion. The friend moving apartments, their backs straining, refusing all offers of assistance with a wave and a tight smile. The family member navigating a profound crisis with a calm, steely expression that says, "I have it under control," when their eyes whisper a different, more exhausted truth. They are the self-reliant, the stoic, the islands in a sea of social connection. And we often mistake their formidable strength for pride, when so often it is a fortress built, brick by painful brick, around a very old and tender wound. To understand them, you must first unlearn a simple surface-level assumption that not asking for help is a sign of arrogance, of believing oneself to be above the need for others. For many, it is the precise opposite. It is a deep-seated, often unconscious conviction that their needs are a burden, that to ask is to impose, to inconvenience, to reveal a weakness that will inevitably lead to disappointment or dismissal. This isn't a choice made in the moment, a simple preference for independence. It is a reflex carved into the very pathways of their nervous system by repetition. A lesson learned, sometimes in the quiet neglect of childhood or the loud betrayals of adulthood, that the world is not a reliable place, that the helping hand promised is often withdrawn, that vulnerability was once met with ridicule, with conditional love, or worse, with betrayal. And the soul learned to preemptively refuse what it feared it would never truly receive. Psychologists often point to the framework of insecure attachment. It's what happens when a child's emotional bids for help, for comfort, for presence are met with inconsistency, unavailability, or outright rejection. The child's developing brain makes a pivotal, unconscious decision for the sake of its own survival. If I cannot rely on you, I will rely only on myself. This isn't a conscious, petulant strategy. It is a profound adaptation. It is the emotional equivalent of a body learning to produce its own scarce nutrient. They become emotionally self-sufficient because they had to. And this pattern, forged in the fires of early relationships, hardens into an identity, a core belief. I am the one who helps. I am not the one who needs help. Their worth becomes entangled with their utility, with their ability to be the strong one, the capable one, the one who doesn't add to the problem. There is a certain undeniable safety in this solitude. It is the safety of a controlled environment. If you never send out the ship, it can never be sunk. If you never extend your hand, it can never be slapped away. The fortress walls are high, and from the inside, they can feel lonely, but they are in control. They are the master of their own chaos, the general of their private, unspoken wars. This control is an illusion, of course, but it's a powerfully comforting one. It feels infinitely safer to be lonely and in control than to be vulnerable and disappointed yet again. Their mantra, often unspoken but governing every action, is, "If it is to be, it's up to me." They wear their independence not as a fashion, but as armor, and they are wary of anyone who suggests they take it off. But the body keeps a score the mind is trained to ignore. This level of constant, unyielding self-reliance is a tremendous cognitive and emotional load. It's like running a complex, high-stakes operating system with no external server support, no cloud backup. Every problem, every emotional spike, every logistical nightmare must be processed and solved internally. It drains the battery relentlessly. This often leads to a specific, profound kind of fatigue, not just physical tiredness, but a soul-deep weariness from perpetually holding up your own sky. They are often the most susceptible to burnout, to chronic stress-related illnesses, and to a quiet, simmering resentment they would never dare to admit, even to themselves. They may even resent the very people they refuse to ask for help, because on some subterranean level, they are exhausted from carrying what could be, what should be, a shared load. This creates a painful, invisible paradox in their relationships. They see themselves as the strong, reliable one, the rock upon which others can depend. And often, they are. But their inability to be vulnerable, to ever be the one in need, makes their love feel distant, one-sided, and strangely impersonal. They give and give, a fountain of support, but they never receive, creating a profound imbalance that, over time, can suffocate genuine connection. Their partner, their friends, their children are left feeling powerless, unneeded, unable to truly see or care for the person who seems to require nothing. The unintended, yet deeply felt message they send is, "I don't need you." And the human heart, which longs to be needed, to be necessary, eventually learns to stop asking, to stop offering, creating a chasm of loneliness that the self-reliant person themselves often cannot understand. Yet to label them simply as closed off or emotionally stunted is to miss the profound, aching sensitivity that almost always lies beneath the granite surface. People who never ask for help are frequently hyper-vigilant to the needs of others. They are the first to offer, to step in, to anticipate what someone might require before they even have to ask. This is their primary language of care. It is also a subtle, heartbreaking projection. They are giving to others the help, the attention, the unconditional support they themselves secretly crave, but cannot articulate, cannot allow themselves to receive. Every time they say, "Let me do that for you," or "You shouldn't have to handle that alone," a small hidden part of them is whispering, "I wish someone would see that I am drowning. I wish someone would do this for me." So, how does this change? The transformation never begins through a grand, dramatic collapse. That is their greatest fear, the very scenario their entire defense system is built to prevent. No, the change begins in the smallest, almost imperceptible cracks in the fortress wall. It's the moment they feel a wave of dizziness at work, and instead of powering through, they turn to a colleague and say, voice trembling slightly, "I'm not feeling well. Could you cover me for an hour?" It's admitting to a trusted friend over a late-night coffee, I'm really struggling with this," and then sitting in the terrifying silence that follows, heart pounding, waiting for the judgment or rejection that doesn't come. It's the first fragile, terrifying taste of a new and radical truth that being helped is not the same as being weak, that receiving is not a transaction that puts you in debt, but an act of trust that deepens a bond, that interdependence is not a failure of independence, but the very fabric of a shared, humane existence. Healing for them is the slow, courageous, and often non-linear process of rewiring a fundamental life or death belief. It is the painstaking work of learning to distinguish the past from the present, to slowly, carefully see that the people in their adult life, the chosen family, the earned friends, are not the unreliable figures of their childhood or the betrayers of their past. It is the daily practice of translating the internal silent plea into a quiet, external ask. It is understanding on a cellular level that true, mature strength isn't about carrying the entire weight alone until your knees buckle. It's about having the wisdom to know when the weight is too heavy and the profound courage to say so out loud.
If you are one of these people, please hear this. Your resilience is breathtaking. The strength you have cultivated is real, and it has saved you. It has gotten you through storms that would have leveled others. But it does not have to be your only resource. Your fierce independence was a suit of armor you built with incredible ingenuity to survive a battle that may, in fact, be over. You can learn to take it off, piece by piece, in the presence of those who have proven themselves worthy of your trust. You can learn that needing others is not a failure of your character. It is a homecoming to your own humanity. It is the final missing piece of your strength. Not the strength to endure alone, but the even greater strength to be soft, to be vulnerable, to be held. Because the most profound courage is not found in the silent, solitary struggle. It is found in the quiet, trembling voice that finally, after a lifetime of determined silence, dares to whisper into the waiting dark, "I can't do this alone. Can you help me?" And in that question lies not surrender, but the beginning of a new kind of strength, one that is shared, resilient, and finally, fully human.